Hi, this is 911. Your phone dialed. Is everything okay?
No, ma'am, I'm sitting with a guy. He said he shot somebody, but I'm waiting on the bus. Y'all got to come and see him.
What did he say happened?
He said he shot somebody.
Okay.
He's right here on Peru and Delaware. He said he shot his girl or something. I don't know. But ma'am, I'm waiting on the bus. He's sitting right here.
At 7:28 on the morning of September 16th, 2022, a man in a dark jacket stood behind a light pole in the parking lot of Charity Child Care on the 900 block of North Holmes Avenue on the near west side of Indianapolis. He was not hiding from the children. He was hiding from one specific woman. Krystal Walton, 32 years old, pulled in minutes later, walked her 7-year-old daughter inside, and came back out alone. She had filed a protective order against Orlando Mitchell exactly 1 day earlier. There was already a warrant out for his arrest. She had told police in plain words that she believed he would kill her. What happened in that parking lot at 7:30 a.m. would end one life. And what happened 10 months later inside a Marion County jail bay would end another, a 61-year-old deputy who never saw it coming. Charity Child Care sits in a quiet stretch of Indianapolis's near west side, the kind of place where the day starts with car doors and backpacks and parents checking the clock. On the morning of Friday, September 16th, 2022, Krystal Walton did what she did most weekday mornings. She drove her children to the daycare, walked them in, and turned back toward her vehicle. It was approximately 7:30 a.m. She never reached the driver's door. A witness inside the building told police she looked out and saw Walton falling to the ground beside her own car. In the same frame, she saw a man holding a black firearm running away from the lot. That witness did not need to guess at who it was. She already knew about the ongoing domestic situation between Walton and Orlando Mitchell, the father of Walton's then 1-year-old son. A second witness gave police the same account and added a detail that would matter later. Krystal had a restraining order against Mitchell, and the daycare staff had already been instructed not to let him inside the building. The people who cared for her children knew his face. They knew to keep the door closed. To understand why, investigators had to go back more than a year and a half. In March 2021, Mitchell was arrested after strangling Walton while she was pregnant with their child, telling her during the assault that she needed to get rid of the baby. That case moved through the Marion County courts slowly. In July 2022, Mitchell entered a guilty plea and avoided a jail sentence. Weeks later, in August 2022, he violated the resulting protective order by getting inside the home of Walton's mother and confronting her, warning her that calling the police would be the last thing she ever did. The following day, he sent her a text message promising he would not stop until she lost everything. If you watch up to this moment, please subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed on the latest cases and investigations. Those were not isolated outbursts. Court records assembled after the shooting described a pattern of threats that family members had heard directly. Mitchell's own relatives told officers what he had been saying. One told police she had not spoken to him in more than a month because he had threatened to kill Walton and turn it into a murder-suicide. Another relayed the logic he had settled on. If he couldn't see his son, then Walton was not going to remain in his life either. Krystal Walton did what victims are repeatedly told to do. On September 15th, 2022, the day before she was killed, she filed a fresh protective order against Mitchell. Court records show a warrant had also been issued for his arrest. She had reported him. She had documented him. She had told police she was afraid he would kill her. 24 hours later, she was dead in a daycare parking lot with her 7-year-old daughter inside the building. The investigation moved quickly because Mitchell had made no serious effort to disappear. Within hours of the shooting, officers received a tip about his vehicle, which had been seen at the daycare around the time Walton was shot.
Hi, this is 911. Your phone dialed. Is everything okay?
No, ma'am, I'm sitting with a guy. He said he shot somebody, but I'm waiting on the bus. Y'all got to come and see him.
What did he say happened?
He said he shot somebody.
Okay.
He's right here on Peru and Delaware. He said he shot his girl or something. I don't know. But ma'am, I'm waiting on the bus. He's sitting right here.
Okay. Could you give me a description of him or what's his name?
He said he shot somebody on 10th and Holmes. She said, "What's your name, man?"
Don't matter.
It don't matter. He said it don't matter. So I'm waiting on the bus. So he's
Okay.
sitting
What
right here
is he
on
wearing?
Peru.
Like what
He's
color
wearing
shirt?
all black and a black hat.
He's a black male?
Yeah. I tell him I'm waiting on the bus, so I can't sit here and wait.
Okay.
He said he shot somebody on 10th and Holmes.
Okay. Can you ask him when did this happen?
He said today, ma'am. I'm waiting on the bus, ma'am.
That's all right.
Okay, I'm just making a call for him. All right.
Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department officers located him in the downtown area, and the confrontation that followed was captured on police video. Mitchell was armed with a rifle. Officers gave him commands to drop the weapon. According to authorities, he refused and instead pointed the rifle at them. Police fired, striking him in the leg. An arrest team then approached behind a protective shield, secured the rifle, and handcuffed him. Officers also found a handgun in a holster in the front waistband of his pants. What Mitchell said next removed any ambiguity about identity. As he was being wheeled toward an ambulance, still bleeding from the gunshot wound, he told officers he had shot her and specified that he had shot her in the face. It was, in effect, a confession delivered at the scene of his own arrest.
He's in the driver's seat now with the door open. Do you want to... 26 Tim, what do you want us to do? Oh!
If he doesn't feel low, we'll try and just keep eyeball.
Drop the weapon! Drop your weapon! Drop your weapon! Drop it! Now! Shots fired! Shots fired! Control! Shots fired! Please action shooting! Stop my cars!
Shots fired.
Do an attack reload! Do an attack reload!
Officers fired.
Control, bike 18 fired. Don't move! Control, suspect may be down. He's down. Suspect's down. Control. Do not move! Control, police action shooting. Control.
10-4, 25-18, police action.
If he doesn't go low, we'll try and just keep eyeball on.
Hold traffic. Hold traffic. You got a weapon. Drop the gun now! Drop the weapon!
Shots fired.
Go ahead.
Officers fired.
Don't move!
Bike 18 fired.
Do not move!
Go ahead, move.
It's hard to see through this glass. Where's the gun at?
It's right next to him.
Right here.
Right next to him.
All right.
On you.
Step up curb.
Step up curb.
Curb.
Police officer, do not move! All right, I want to see that other hand. Can we see the other hand?
Yep, I can see it. It's clear.
All right, Jeremy, you're going to be hands-on.
Got the car.
Go ahead and holster
You
up.
got the car?
We got the car.
Okay. He's blinking. He's blinking. He is still moving.
2224, where are they at?
Tell them to hold off, please.
Delaware and Courier.
Control, hold the radio, please. Jesus.
All right, here's what I want to do.
Put on traffic. Load on traffic.
God damn it. Fucking, I don't know if I'm recording or not. Who fucking
I don't know either.
I got you. I'm recording.
Do we have a, was it rifle only or rifle and handgun?
We don't know. Unknown.
Okay. All right, I want to move that rifle.
Okay.
So,
Can we step up?
No, you're not best up.
Yeah, you stay back. I'm
yeah,
good.
you stay back. So,
What
I'm
the
going to
fuck?
stay on target. Jeremy, you're going to pull that rifle away before you handcuff. Do you understand?
Good.
All right, we're moving.
Yeah, he does have a handgun under him. I can see it. He does have a handgun under him. He does have a handgun under him. You see it, Jeremy? Got it? Taking suspect in custody now.
That's here. Yeah, come on, Jeremy.
We got key.
I shot the in her face. Y'all want to shoot me in the
Hey,
leg?
just in case.
Okay. How
You're a
many
big son.
wounds on the guns do we have?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Mitchell was charged with murder, invasion of privacy for violating the protective order, and unlawful possession of a firearm by a domestic batterer. He appeared at his initial hearing, pushed into the courtroom in a wheelchair, still recovering, and was assigned a public defender. A jury trial was set. Then it was moved. Then it was moved again. Mitchell's gunshot wound required ongoing medical treatment, and that treatment required transport, a routine, unremarkable piece of jail logistics that would soon produce a second homicide. On the morning of July 10th, 2023, Marion County Sheriff's Deputy John Durm picked Mitchell up from the jail shortly after 9 a.m. Durm was 61 years old, a 38-year veteran of the department, and had transported Mitchell before. Mitchell was handcuffed, shackled, and loaded into a transport van for an appointment at Eskenazi Hospital. The appointment finished before 11 a.m. He was placed back into the van with a belly chain secured over his restraints, and the two arrived at the Sallyport of the Criminal Justice Center, part of the Marion County Community Justice Campus, at around 11:15 a.m. Surveillance video recovered the sequence. Earlier footage from the hospital showed Mitchell manipulating his leg shackles. Sheriff Kerry Forstall would later explain that restraints can appear properly fitted and still be defeated because a person can expand their body while a chain is being fastened so that it hangs loose afterward. When the van reached the bay, Durm walked around to the side and opened the door to let his prisoner out. According to charging documents, Mitchell stepped behind the deputy and raised his hands over Durm's head, then used the chain of his handcuffs to choke him. The two fell to the ground. Mitchell continued to apply pressure until, as the affidavit put it, Durm stopped moving. Mitchell then took Durm's keys, removed his own handcuffs, got into the sheriff's van, and drove out. He crashed the vehicle in the 3000 block of Prospect Street, a short distance away, and was taken back into custody at the crash scene. Deputy Durm was transported to Eskenazi Hospital, the same hospital he had driven Mitchell to that morning, and died there later that day. the Marion County Coroner's Office ruled the death a homicide caused by ligature strangulation. 2 sheriff's deputies were later fired during the internal investigation into how the escape had been possible.
Those circumstances set the stage for Orlando Mitchell's attack, and now we are tasked with doing everything in our power to rectify the failures to prevent any further harm. MCSO has undergone a series of immediate and subsequent remediations following the alleged murder of Deputy John Durham, including the following procedural changes in the Adult Detention Center effective July 10th, 2023. All off-site medical services except those requiring ambulance transport for emergency treatment shall be evaluated and authorized by our contract physician with the documented reason as why services cannot be provided on-site and by our contract medical provider before being transported. All off-site medical transports for inmates shall require 2 deputies during transport. All off-site medical appointments are conducted using 2 deputies or combination of 1 deputy and 1 detention deputy, never 2 unarmed deputies. Drivers shall radio to the officer in charge of Eskenazi upon the arrival supporting the hospital visit. They'll provide additional security at the hospital during the visit. Presently, additional overtime is being used to accommodate the increase in staffing required to complete this transport. A heart defibrillator is now affixed to the wall inside the Adult Detention Center Sally Port. Vehicles entering the security gate to the Sally Port will identify their agency and the number of prisoners on board. The control clerk will radio processing to the advise of their arrival, and processing will meet the incoming driver in the Sally Port. Strict compliance to firearms storage enforced in the secure areas. As of August 30th, 2023, there are 196 individuals in custody for murder. Assessments began for sizes and appropriate housing to change the entire murder population into red uniforms as an outward reminder of policy variations for anyone charged with murder that leaves the adult detention center. Immediate remedial measures, including our training academy staff providing additional belly chain retraining, and they will also conduct complacency training soon. We are renewing our request for cameras for the adult detention center transport wagons. In closing, I want to assure our community that we are taking the necessary steps to eliminate any opportunities for those who would wish to carry out harm against our staff. We are and have always been steadfast in our commitment to accountability and the safety of all MCSO employees. While no number of protocols or additional staff can eliminate all risk, we're firmer to our commitment to make meaningful changes that reflect our dedication to continuous improvement and, most importantly, honor the memory of the life we lost. In the past 6 weeks, we had probably 24 questions that different media outlets had asked. We've answered those and passed those out to you, but I'm open to some additional questions here.
Sheriff, you say somebody was watching. Has that person been terminated?
It's probably a 2-part question. People were terminated as a result.
But you mentioned you have 2 names here of people who were terminated. Were they one of the ones that were watching the surveillance camera?
No.
What's happened to that person?
That hasn't been decided as of this time.
Sheriff, what were the policies that were not...
Can I follow up on this just a second?
Yes.
Just so you know, I mean, there's like 80 views down there, and at the best day we have 4 people watching it. So they may be watching 26 or 27 cameras simultaneously to try to watch what's going on anywhere. At the same time, they have 2 radios, they're answering the phone, and they're responding to people saying, I need to go from A to B, we'll open this. And at the same time, in a smaller screen, this may have been happening between the vans. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What policies that were in place at the time on July 10th were not followed that day?
2 people should have accompanied him to 2 deputies should have accompanied him to Eskenazi when he was charged with murder.
Why didn't that happen?
Well, staffing has probably got too complacent because we're so short staffed. People will make decisions that aren't in their best interest, whether that's the deputy, the supervisor. We have changed a roundabout of supervisors so we get a fresh eyes on different sections so that any learned bad habits could be overseen or corrected.
Did Deputy Durm volunteer to do this by himself, or was he, in effect, ordered to do this by a supervisor?
He has transported him before, and I don't know that question specifically. If he would have refused to do that, I don't believe that occurred.
What was the nature of Orlando Mitchell's medical appointment that day?
It was a follow-up from his incident on the street where there was some violence that occurred out there.
Okay, total, there were two deputies terminated and 2 demoted?
That's correct, right now.
With ideal staffing, what would that procedure look like in the Sally Port, both leaving and returning?
2 people would have been in the van transporting both directions.
Would one be more hands-on with Mitchell or keeping that? How would
They
that-
work as a team.
Okay.
Can you address the roles of the 2 who were terminated?
They were bringing their similar job to Deputy Durm, and they were returning with prisoners from other locations.
Was there a way to look back into where Mitchell was, to determine and kind of assess, oh, his belly chain might be off, this or that? I think we saw he can look in through a grate when he opens up the main back door, but is there an additional one from the driver's perspective where they can look and assess whether everything is how it should be?
No.
Have you increased now the number of deputies that should be watching those cameras instead of 4? Is that a new?
And they're actually civilians that are watching, they're not deputies. And we have not increased because those are the 4 that we have. We attempt to maintain the 4 that we have because of the short staff that we have. We're down at least 75 detention deputies and 75 deputies overall in the department.
We'll take just a few more questions.
So you're 150 people down?
Correct.
And how many total do you have right now?
It didn't bring prayer. Yeah. Close to 500. Am I not right on that number?
Yeah.
Is it standard procedure to have them in the belly chain in the front versus handcuffing them in the back?
It depends on where they're transporting, but ideally they would be put behind them.
Was this like because he was transported to the hospital, is that what made it be in the front?
I can't speak for their thoughts that day when he was transporting.
Is it believed that he slipped the chain off, so the chains didn't malfunction in any way?
That's correct. We don't believe there was a malfunction with the chain.
Have you had them malfunction, or have you had other inmates get out of those chains?
No. I mean, I carry the same pair of cuffs that was issued to me like 40 years ago. These were it's got my initials and a badge number that I had when I came on. They need to be properly used, and they should last for a great period of time.
We'll take one more question.
So was Orlando Mitchell properly secured, detained with his handcuffs and everything from the very beginning, and then somehow he was able to loosen them or manipulate his body, or can you address that?
I'd say I've seen what you've seen. It appears as though they were put on properly, but as you put that chain around, you can fatten yourself up to try to make that so later it'd be loose. We won't know that, but I mean, just in viewing, it appears as though they were put on properly. But they spend 365 days a year trying to figure out how they can beat the system and what they can do to change it. I know that they addressed it when they brought him to court. Our CERT team said that he was constantly evaluating their movements, probably thinking, when's his next opportunity to make an escape? All right? Thank you.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears charged Mitchell with 2 counts of murder, robbery resulting in serious bodily injury, and escape, and announced he would seek the death penalty. Because the killing occurred on courthouse property, every Marion County judge was recused for potential conflict of interest, and the Indiana Supreme Court assigned Special Judge Mark A. Smith of Hendricks County to preside. That case immediately became contentious outside the courtroom as well. After the sheriff's office played video of the attack at a press conference, Judge Smith admonished prosecutors in open court, warning that the pretrial publicity could taint the jury pool and delay the case further. the Walton trial finally began in February 2025, nearly 2.5 years after the shooting. It lasted 3 days. Jurors heard from the daycare employees and from the owner of a nearby business, and they were shown surveillance video of Mitchell waiting outside the facility, positioned behind a light pole, watching as Walton carried her children inside. Both sides agreed that Mitchell had done the killing. The defense did not dispute the act. It argued that he had snapped and acted in sudden heat, a legal theory that would have reduced the offense. The video of a man lying in wait undercut it. The jury deliberated for roughly 90 minutes before convicting him of murder and of invasion of privacy. On April 1st, 2025, Mitchell was sentenced to 66 years in the Indiana Department of Correction, with credit for 746 days already served.
2 murder cases that he faces here in Marion County.
Mitchell shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, Krystal Walton, outside a daycare on the west side. Our Rich Nye talked to her dad today, right after that verdict.
The jury only took about an hour to find Orlando Mitchell guilty of the murder of Krystal Walton. They rejected the defense argument that this was voluntary manslaughter, that Mitchell acted in sudden heat. The evidence, all captured on security video, showed that Mitchell staked out the daycare and waited for Walton to drop off her 2 kids, including his 1-year-old son. Mitchell ambushed her as she walked back to her car. Walton's father and another man were removed from the courtroom after a stare-down with Mitchell when that video was shown Tuesday.
When we saw the vicious attack on her and how he just gunned her down, we flipped. I'm just keeping it real. That was a lot to take, just to see your daughter who had no choice. She didn't even stand a chance, and this creepy predator just violently, viciously attack her.
The defense argued Mitchell snapped because he was not being allowed to see their son. The jury also found him guilty of violating a protective order, an order that could not protect Walton.
We are dealing with a different type of person here, and certainly we want to make sure that we send a clear message to everybody involved in the community is we need you to come forward on these domestic violence cases. We need you to provide that information so we can be in a position to try to help and offer some level of assistance.
Mitchell is sentenced April 1st when Walton's family returns to speak for her.
This is all love for her. This is love for Krystal, our daughter, our niece, our sister, our cousin. So she's reached out, just over these past couple of years and touched the community.
Walton was 32 years old. Rich Nye, 13 News.
And this will not be the last time we see Orlando Mitchell in a courtroom in a murder trial.
He is also accused of killing a Marion County Sheriff's deputy. Investigators say that he attacked Deputy John Durm in July of 2023.
The deputy had just taken Mitchell for medical treatment, and this was for an injury that Mitchell got when he was shot by Metro Police as they tried to make an arrest for him after Krystal Walton's murder.
The Marion County Prosecutor's Office is seeking the death penalty against Mitchell for Deputy Durham's death. Mitchell is expected to go on trial for that crime in August of next year.
Walton's family delivered impact statements. Her father, Christopher Walton, described the verdict as the first phase of justice for his daughter. That phase 1 framing was precise. The murder conviction did more than punish. It created a statutory aggravator. The legal foundation prosecutors need to argue for a death sentence in the Durm case. That trial was scheduled for August 2026, then continued at a February 2026 hearing, and rescheduled to begin on February 11th, 2027. So the case now stands as 2 deaths connected by a single thread. Krystal Walton, 32, killed in a daycare parking lot one day after filing for protection by a man with a documented history of strangling her, threatening her, and violating the orders meant to keep him away. And Deputy John Durm, 61, killed in a jail transport bay while doing the ordinary work of moving that same man to and from medical care. one man is serving 66 years for the first. In February 2027, a jury in Indiana will decide whether he should be executed for the second.